welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen, and I am here with day 25 of the best of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch is a page map, and it is 4 2.5 by 3.5 pictures, which I'm gonna kind of not do, but I am doing 4 pictures. They're just a little smaller. And this is from Series 8. That's the layout I created with the same sketch. I have decided to scrapbook these 4 pictures of my mom, my sister, and my brother-in-law. And they're pretty entertaining pictures, but they are 2x3s. And I'm going to use the Jen Hadfield Peaceful Heart collection. I have about 4 or 5 full papers, some scraps, and some papers that have been cut out in the middle. So I'm going to use up some of that. And that is all I have. I don't know what else I'm going to use embellishment wise, if I'm going to get out any ink, titles, who knows. So I've got my paper, my pictures, this cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So this is typically how I scrapbook, you all. I titled my channel Scrapping on the Fly for a reason, because I fly by the seat of my pants often. So the first thing I did was pull out this paper with the little houses on it, and I'm going to use that as my mat in the back. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to get a solid to use as my main paper, or if I want to use something from the collection. And I'm also looking for the 2 strips of paper that I need for the top portion and the bottom portion of this layout. So I have a couple of scraps that I feel like are big enough, like this one over here on the left that's marbly, and then there are a few other ones. And I first pull that rainbow paper, and I actually was not going to cut the rainbow off of this because that was going to be my little branding strip that's down the middle. But then I realized that it was going to be too similar to the paper above it, so I decided to cut it off. And then I trim the branding strip off of this one as well. And I don't even know if I used that. To be honest, I literally just finished this, but I will say it is 1:37 in the morning as I am voicing this over. So I'm kind of tired. Okay, so nope, see, I don't use that. The rainbow paper is still sitting on my desk, actually. So that is like a pink graph or grid paper right there, and I'm going to use that as the strip that goes down the middle. And I'm going to trim it. My pictures are 3x4 or 3x2, so I know that I need it to be at least 8.5 inches, so I cut it about 8 3/4. I probably, if I was smart and thought it through, would have put my pictures down and then trimmed it. Yep, that would be a great idea. However, I don't, but that's okay. It works out just fine. So, but if you can take some tips from what I do, more like, don't do what I do, that might be helpful. So I go ahead and get my pictures matted on black, because I definitely want them to stand out on this light colored paper. And so I do a thin border of black on this one little matte stack of black paper. And I'm going to just cut those out. And then there doesn't need to be a whole lot of space, but I do want a apparent space between the pictures. So in the sketch, you can see there is a dark line above and below, like it's fully matted on that paper. So I want to make sure that you can see that. So I do get that trimmed up, and then I end up trimming that paper because it's wonky looking, and it's probably my cutting job. Totally possible. So I get those matted down and trimmed up, and then I want to bring in a paper so that I can have my base page together. So I'm going to set all that aside, and I do decide to pick a page from this collection, and it's this beautiful paper right here that has like the little houses on it, so it all kind of goes in that same theme. The background paper is the white with the houses, and then the blue paper has the little, just this, outline of a house. And so I love that, and I cut it down to 11.5 by 11.5. I almost wish I'd have cut it a little more just so you could see more of the houses on that background paper. I'm going to have to get more of this collection. Don't tell my best friend. She's my interventional person who keeps me from spending too much money on paper. And that's the only thing she's ever told me not to buy is paper because I have an addiction. Okay, so I was starting out where I wanted to do that floral because I love that paper. But the branding strip I want to use, which is the houses, just disappeared into that because it's the same base color. So I decided to flip it over and use that stripe with the mustard color and pink. And I really do love how that stands out on this blue paper. So I trimmed those down. I cut about 2.5 inches, I think, off of the marble looking paper and the yellow striped paper. I almost cut the exact same thing off of that branding strip and remembered to leave it a little longer. So I think I only cut 1 inch off of that because it comes out further than the papers. So I get these tacked down and I'm leaving a little gap because I really want as much of this showing. And I know that little house branding strip is going to go right there. And so I am just measuring to see how much of that I want to cut off. And then I'm going to put that down. And like I said, I cut about 1 inch off. So I just wanted to make sure there was a little of that blue paper on either side. And I was just checking to make sure it was even-ish, even. JQ Crafty has something on her YouTube that says if it's straight I didn't do it or something like that. I totally feel that. So I am loving the way this is looking. I love this is so much more clean looking in comparison to the one I created before in September. I like that one too. I just love how versatile. I mean, the layout looks, you can see that it came from the sketch, but they are totally different layouts. This is more clean and classic looking by the end of it, and that one is like fun and spunky. It's got lots of this and that's on it, and I really do enjoy that you can make these layouts by sketches and when you do scrap lifts and just completely change things up and still be able to see where it's coming from. So there is a circular feature in this sketch underneath that little branding strip. I decided I'm going to pull in one of the doilies, and I know you all see these on everything, but I can't help it. I don't have all of my stuff here, and so I do love the doilies, and I think that they add a lot. And I'm going to fiddle around with this doily for a while. I don't even ink it. I just put it down. I do cut it so that it looks like it's tucked up under there, but it's just cut. I have a little piece of it still sitting over here that I can use at another time. And I am going to pull that off and cut it again. But I put that under there, and I'm going to get a pocket card that's got a space for journaling, and I'm going to put that down on there. And when I do, I realize it completely covers the bottom part of that doily, and I don't want that. I really wanted to be able to see the doily below there. So I fiddled around with it and tried to figure out what I wanted to do. And I just wasn't happy with the fact that that was disappearing. I also wasn't thrilled that the top has the curved edges and nothing else is curved except the doily. So I decided that I would pull the doily up, cut part of it off, and I'm going to add it below the journaling. So it's not going to be a circle anymore. I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with it not being, that same circular pattern that is in the sketch. And I'm going to tuck the journaling under here to where you can't see that curve. Funny thing is, I'm going to use a little piece of that Project Life pocket card and in a minute, and I left the curvy edge on it. Oh, vey. Oh, well. So anyway, so I tucked that in, and so right now I'm fixing a mistake. And I like to point out the mistakes that I make. I forgot the E in SHAREABLE. I question my spelling all the time, and I usually look it up, but my iPad was playing and my phone is obviously recording. So anywho, I cut a little strip from the same pocket card where I had cut it off, and I just cover it over. And honestly, you can barely tell. I mean, because I know I'm looking for it, I can see it. Y'all have to tell me how noticeable it is in the up close towards the end. So after I get that fixed and down, I am going to get some embellishments and a title. So I pull a couple different kinds of title letters out, and I end up with the sticko. These are some foam glitter ones, and I just title the page Shareable. These pictures are of my mom getting her secret sand dollar gift on our very first night of playing Secret Sand Dollar, which is pretty much like Secret Santa, except it's at the beach. And in the past, we've done Secret Pals, but this year my son suggested we call it Secret Sand Dollar because we are at the beach. And so we did. So every night you get a new person, and you can write them a note or buy them a little gift. And so my mother's Secret Sand Dollar person bought her some Snickers almond little brownies. And so on the bag it says Shareable, and my brother-in-law pointed that out because he wanted her to share them. And so everybody thought that was super entertaining and laughed quite hysterically. And then everybody's sweet treats that they received the rest of the week, everybody yelled Shareable. So anywho, it was more one of those had to be there moments. And so this layout will be a whole lot more hysterical to my family than it is to people who don't know this, weren't there. So, but anyway, I thought I would at least explain why I titled this Shareable. So I get this Crafter Square star out because I wanted something there. But I mean, I don't really have any specific thing to document here. So I put this gemstone star, and I also pull out some thickers called Hello Joy, and that is where those black and white stars came from that I added to the layout. So other than that, that is really it. I did cut a little piece of the Project Life card and put it up there where it's got the date. And I did put the date up there. It was our very first night of doing the Secret Sand Dollars. And now here are the close-ups. So check out all the little this and that's that are on here. I really did enjoy this layout, even though it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope you all will go down below and follow along with the hop. You can go to the playlist and follow all the awesome, 300, 400 videos and over 40 different YouTube channels are sharing. It is amazing. So, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow, which is really officially today for day 26. And I'm pretty sure that it's one of my favorite layouts. So I hope you all have a great night. I hope I see you again real soon, and happy scrapping.